Robotech, rumors are that this is going to be coming. A live-action version of the movie is coming. Now, you have the minds behind 300 and the more Immortals teaming up to actually produce this. You have Gianni Nunari and Mark Canton. Those guys are usually linked to WB films, but they have worked, like I said, on Immortals and 300 together. They've also got Michael Gordon set to write said script about the movie. So we are looking at a live-action Robotech that should be coming to us in the next 2-3 years. And I, for one, am really excited. Because that movie, if you didn't see the anime series, this was one of the groundbreaking animes, especially here in America. Most people didn't consider it an anime here in America because that word didn't exist in America before the likes of Robotech and Voltron and shows like that. So this is one of the first times Japanese, almost not, I don't want to say culture, but I guess it's part of their culture, kind of came to America rather than us just exporting all of our culture outwards.
It was an early, like, popular thing to come over here and to get a crowd, and like you're saying, like, it wasn't even entirely really the Japanese thing, because it was a mix, right? It was actually based off of 3 other anime that they kind of spliced together in a logical way.
Yeah, well, it was 3 anime that kind of told
that
one
were related.
Story. They were all, if you looked at the anime, they were all the Marcross series, I believe that's kind of how they called it. The first one was the first, encounter with the aliens. Then the second one, I think, had to do with the people's kids who were in said encounter. And then the third one was just, I want to say it's another generation. Kind of told 3-generation tale.
They did that, and they did some editing stuff, though. Like, they tweaked around with what was going on in certain scenes, and they rewrote a good bit of it. But this was actually an instance I've heard that the creators of Macross saw Robotech and said, hey, that was actually a better job than what we did.
Well, it was pretty awesome. And if you want to know what we're talking about, so what happened was a ship falls from space and lands in the South Pacific. Now, they kind of keep it under wraps, and a lot of people don't know what's going on. But, humans do our human thing. We get in there. They reverse engineer a lot of it, so they kind of bring the ship back to, they repair it a little bit. They use it to build their own types of ship, and there's this thing called prototechnology or prototology or something like that can help create these things. It's also an energy source per se. And then all of a sudden they're getting ready to, make this ship active, and these evil aliens start coming to Earth. They're called the Zentradi. So they want what this ship is. They want to use it, and they want to harness it to take over the galaxy. Well, this ship already has these automatic self-defense systems in there, so they start firing the cannons at these guys, and kind of start a little bit of a war between Earth and these Zentradi invaders. So what happens? They have to get the ship, they have to take it off Earth, and they take it out into the middle of our solar system so that Earth can kind of be spared, because they don't want the entire Earth population to be destroyed by this. And this is the first part of the 3-generational thing. And this was my favorite part. I bet this is the part they'll focus on with the movie too. And then you have this group of thousands of people, a lot of them just random civilians visiting this space ship, all stuck out in space. So it's a pretty cool story. They develop their own, society pretty much on this space station while they're fighting off these alien invaders time and time again. And we get cool characters like Rick Hunter. He was pretty much the main character man. You have a girl who becomes like a pop star on the ship and everything like that, because that's kind of Japanese. They love their pop stars.
A lot of people love pop stars. That's why they're so popular.
I guess that's why they're called pop, because that's short for popular.
Yeah, it's close enough. I don't really care what the real explanation for pop is.
Yeah, well, hey, but what you get with this is you get a really, and then I'm sorry, I almost glossed over like the coolest part of the whole ship is they have these fighters, pretty much these fighter planes. They start off like normal, like F-16 looking things. They can take off, and then they can switch into 2 different other modes. They go into one where it's kind of like the nose of the ship is still there, but they have like 2 arms come out and 2 legs, and they can shoot more weapons and stuff and do different things. Then they have another mode where they switch into a humanoid type thing, and they can fight like that. So that was an awesome thing when I was a kid, watching that when I first watched that. have them, okay, go to type B. Okay, now to type C. It's like, oh no, he just went to type C. What's going to happen now? So that's pretty cool too. And with the technology we have nowadays, they could definitely do it in CGI very, very well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, they've done Transformers already, right?
Yeah, and this could be better.
So that's essentially the same idea, except for now you have people piloting it, but that doesn't really change the animation that much as far as I'm aware, so, hey, sounds pretty good.
Yeah, and if it's just a live-action movie, now, if they wanted to do a trilogy of movies, I could see them kind of going into the, okay, this is the kids of those people still fighting off the Zentradi, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Zentradi, something like that. And then the third generation of them. So I could see this stretching out into a couple movies, but I bet you they'll focus mainly, and I believe this was the most popular of the series, was where they were out in space fighting them off before they came back to Earth, and then the next generations after that. So, Rick Hunter, I still want to say, is like the most popular. Like, he's like one of the signature anime figures out there. He's kind of like Goku. You talk anime without Rick Hunter and Goku.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of which, it's a little bit interesting, the timing. I kind of wonder what sparked them to do it now. Maybe the success of the Transformers movies, because I don't think there's been anything big in Robotech in a long time. Like, yeah, that was a show from a while ago. So
I mean, that came into America in 1985, I want to say. When I first saw it, I saw it in like the mid-90s. Yeah, it was on like Toonami.
Yeah, they reran it a few times, but I don't even think they've rerun it in a while. I don't know. Maybe there's been something going on with it.
Well, we're seeing stuff like Ghost in the Shell. Remember, we were talking about Ghost in the Shell coming to be a live-action movie. They're just
that's true, but that Ghost in the Shell was still doing the standalone complex series in the 2000s. Like, that was still been inactively coming out. So
I think this has a lot to do with with the way comic movies are taking off. You have a lot of things like, okay, that's a cool property. People loved it when they were kids. Now let's bring it back to them now that they're adults and change it up a little bit. So you already have a story in place where you can take stuff, and with the technology we have nowadays, it makes it look a lot better. Because think about like the superhero movies from the 70s and 80s, when you're talking about like Superman and stuff. Yeah, they had some commercial success, but did they look good? Not really. Did they look believable? Not really. Nowadays, you can make, with all the CGI and stuff, you can really make these things look believable. So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. Let us know what you guys think. Are you excited to see a Robotech movie? Did you never watch this show ever? And you're like, what the hell are you talking about? Hit us up, comments down below. Of course, @What'sMyFace on Twitter, Google Plus and Facebook. Always good ways of getting a hold of us. Let's keep